Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the next game of the Potomac Curling Club's inaugural Bonspiel. The teams are about to flip the coin, and we'll be back with you as soon as the action starts.
And welcome back here to the Potomac Curling Club, everyone. My name is David Bykowski, alongside Michael Dobbs, our technical expert here. We are getting set for the 5 o'clock draw here in the 2012 Potomac Curling Club inaugural Bonspiel, our feature game here, featuring a number of folks that, well, we know fairly well from right here at Potomac. It is the Rocks of Granite being skipped by Rich Ashford, taking on Two Lefts Make a Right, where we've had a couple of late lineup changes that we'll go over for you in just a moment. You can see that the action has just gotten underway. Ashford and the Rocks of Granite with the red rocks. Two Lefts Make a Right with the yellow rocks. Let's go ahead and give you the lineup here, starting for, since they're about to throw right now, with yellow for two wrongs, or two rights, two lefts make a right. Waiting for a lot of my notes to get organized here. Tommy Hamilton will be throwing lead rocks for the team in this game. Pam Hamilton throwing second. Coming in to play vice and throwing fourth rocks is Rebecca Andrew, and skipping and throwing third rocks is Dave Hamilton. Couple of last-minute changes there. Lisa and Doug Andrew not available for this game. With the Red Rocks, the Rocks of Granite line up for them. Brandon Corrali, as he gets ready to throw his second lead rock here in this first end. Bill McDonald will be throwing second. Throwing third rocks and skipping is Rich Ashford, and Brian Gelbach will be vicing and throwing fourth rocks. Getting used to a little bit of a different setup here that we've got. Sitting up a little higher, trying to look down at the monitors and all of my notes that I have sitting in front of me. Right now, not a bad start there for the Rocks of Granite. Got one that's sitting in the forefoot. Got another, got that protected out front. Tommy Hamilton throwing his second lead rock here. Just looks like he's going to be trying to get another one in play.
You mean that Doug Andrew lookalike guy down there?
So I kind of feel like a fool right now, not even looking at who's out there on the ice. I'm saying that Dave Hamilton will be skipping, and then wondering, why is there someone who looks like Doug Andrew standing out there in the house? So So let's revise this. If you're looking back to two lefts make a right, Tommy Hamilton still throwing the lead rocks. You can see Pam Hamilton getting ready to throw second rocks. Dave Hamilton is out there. Looks like he will be probably throwing third and vicing, and it would be Doug Andrew, in fact, who is going to be skipping, and I would presume throwing last rocks. Of course, who knows what's actually going to happen here. So 2 rocks right there in the house. Actually, 3 in the house, 2 of them right there in the 4-foot for the rocks of granite. Here's Pam Hamilton's first rock in this first end. A little bit lightweight on the hit, and that was coming off the center line. They're going to have to sweep that one a lot to have any chance to get the hit on this. It looks like that is, they're holding it pretty well. I don't know if she might get a piece of it, but it's not going to be enough to take it out. Pretty lightweight for the hit. And getting just enough. Good sweeping job there by Doug Andrew to get that one out. So Pam manages to just barely get that one out. Good enough there as the shooter rolls away. Bill McDonald at second, throwing his second rock of this game. He's just going to look to put another one in there. That 4-foot rock is definitely exposed right now, but I don't think it's going to be after this shot. Sweepers are on this one pretty hard. Looks like this may be just trying to set up to guard it, but it's coming over quite a bit. That is well guarded. Good shot there by Bill McDonald, sitting right there at the top of the 12-foot. Still looks like they're only counting 1 right now, as that yellow rock out there on the left side appears to be sitting second shot. Pam will try to clear some of that up out front. Throwing left-handed is Pam Hamilton. We'll see if that comes into play a little bit later on in this match. This one needs to come over more just to at least clear something up off the front. And not a bad result. Does end up actually making it sitting 2 for the rocks of granite, but again, kind of opening things up. Dave Hamilton certainly can throw the double takeout right there. That's set up pretty nicely for him. We'll see how long that's going to stay like that. Rich Ashford skipping this game, throwing the third rocks. This is always interesting to see the dynamics of how this works with teams. Sometimes it can work very well when you've got a good system in place. Other times, suboptimal. Let's leave it at that. So Brian Gelbach has the broom set right there on the outside of the 8-foot. Haven't really thrown any rocks out there yet, I don't believe. Ice is still pretty fresh. It's also just freshly scraped after the 3 o'clock break for scraping, so the speed should be really good for this draw for all of the teams. Sweepers looking to get some separation. A nice tap there by Ashford, putting the shot rock behind cover. Second shot is sitting out there wide open out on the edge of the 4-foot. And then third shot rock sitting there in the top of the 8. Few opportunities here. Doug Andrew opting to just go for the hit on the open one in the outside 4-foot. Possible hit and roll opportunity here if Dave Hamilton can put this one in the right spot. Seems like a lot of ice perhaps for this hit. This rock is still going out a little bit. Unless this digs in awfully quickly, and now it is cutting back. He's going to get maybe about a nose hit, not going to get that inside roll, but he definitely gets rid of that 4-foot and cuts it down to 1 right now. Yellow sitting second shot for Andrew's team. And Rich Ashford's going to look to do the exact same thing and take out the yellow rock and go back to sitting 3. Again, Ashford and Gelbach not starting with the hammer, but definitely in control of the forefoot here early in this first end of this 5 o'clock game. Pretty good low balanced delivery there for Ashford. Sweepers are on this one. Might be getting a bit of an inside roll, and he's that's still a pretty good result. About as good as hitting it on the nose. Still has that one sitting wide open, but the shot rock is still guarded. Second shot still out in the open. Dave Hamilton's second rock coming here. Again, just going to play the hit on the open rock and hope to roll behind, maybe be able to outcount the shot rock there. Any piece of the button will do the trick for that. Sweeper's on this one all the way. Just hoping to get a piece of it there. Even if he does, it's going to roll way too far, and he's put it through. In curling, that's a field goal, but it's not worth 3 points. So Brian Gelbach will come down to the hack, just looking to probably clog up the front and just really keep that forefoot blocked up and make Doug Andrew have to get a lot of things out. So a nice guard there by Brian Gelbach, and that forefoot is pretty well blocked up. Get a closer look there at the house. You can see the two red rocks in the forefoot. Third shot sitting full 8 foot there. And Doug Andrew trying to figure out how to be able to get in there. Might have to throw some weight to clear this out. He could throw the double, and it looks like that may be what he's going for here, just to get that 8 foot and the shot rock out of there, and at least cut things down from 3 to 1, and hope that maybe he has an opportunity with the hammer. Right now, the hammer not looking like an advantage at this point. Doug Andrew throwing fourth, skip for the two lefts make a right. His first rock in this first end. Plenty of weight. Might have put this one outside a little bit. Hard to tell. Sweepers are in the way. It's definitely outside. He's hoping he can get a piece of at least one of them. He's missed the top 8, but he did get the shot rock out. He could see just a little bit of a piece of it there. So that's a start, but that's definitely not what he was looking for. He still has a lot of work to do with one more rock just to try to get one in this end. Gelbach will come back down to the hack looking to just put something out there in front. Maybe play a tap back on his red rock that's sitting right there on the center line. Again, red still sitting 2 at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised if they're sitting 3 after this shot is over. Gilbach's final rock of the first end here. Sweeper's on this one pretty early. He's going to have to come over a bit more to get to where he wants it to be. It's definitely across the hog line, but I think it may be just a guard, maybe the top 12, but not much better than that. He's just leaving that as a guard. So it's only 2 at the moment, but those 2 are definitely, the 2 that are in the house are well protected. There is a little bit of a space. As my good friend David Baxter would say, the rock will fit. I don't know if that's necessarily the shot call here. There's enough room to get that in there, and I think the ice conditions are favorable enough for him to be able to put it in. I don't think that the ice is really swinging that much such that that hit's not possible, but even if he makes that shot, all he's going to do is just catch that top 8-foot rock and just give up a steal of 1 instead of the 2 that it's sitting right now. He's going to have an awfully hard time trying to get anything in there to get a piece of the button to get 1. That's about what he needs. Give you a closer look here on the overhead camera. You can see there's that red rock right over there, just peeking out a little bit, catching a little bit of the inside of the 8-foot circle. Not entirely sure what the call is on this one. I think he's trying to play some sort of hit. Again, even if he gets this is actually, I think, the tougher hit. He really doesn't have much to work with if he's trying to catch the shot rock at this point. He may have put this one outside a little bit, too. Hard to tell from this angle. Sweepers are on it, so I'm probably wrong. Is he going to get a piece of it at least? He's got a piece, but that is not going to be enough to change the outcome. It is a steal of 2 for Gelbach and Ashford here in the first end. Some good rocks right there at second, and a couple of hits that they were attempting that just didn't quite work out the way that they wanted. 2-0 your score after one end. Rocks of Granite leading 2 lefts make a right. Second end coming back down this way. We'll be back in a few seconds. So Rich Ashford calling for the draw right into the house to start off this second end here. As Brandon Corrale pushes out of the hack. Both of these teams really had very disappointing outings last night, both struggling to get things going in their games during the 9:45 draw, and both of their games, in fact, only went 6 ends, coming up with losses, putting them both here in the second event of this 2012 inaugural Bonspiel. Corrale's first rock sitting there about top of the 8-foot circle. Be nice to have that one on the center line, but as long as it's in the house there, can't really complain too much. Tommy Hamilton at lead, his first rock of the second end. Looks like this one may be a little upweight. If it moves over enough, it may end up being a little bit of a hit, but I think this one's going to be rolling out if he gets a piece of it. Oh, this one's going to come a little bit thicker than I thought it would at first. Playing the soft hit, sitting in the top 4 foot, and a nice result there for Hamilton. Rich Ashford happy to just trade hits here in the early action in the second end. Corrale's second rock. Sweeper's on it early. This one is a little tight. Is he going to get a piece of it at all? No. He didn't get that one out to the broom at all. Doug Andrew looking to split the house here now and try to just maybe trade hits and pick up 2 to tie this game back up. Second rock for Tommy Hamilton's coming up light right now, hoping to just get this one to be a guard. They've got it over the hog. Might be a chance they can catch a piece of the top of the 12-foot here. That's going to come up just a little bit short, though. So that is going to be, again, Bill McDonald going to be throwing a hit. So no problems for Bill McDonald on the gentle weight hit right there. Doug Andrew looks like he's going to be coming back, calling another hit here for Pam Hamilton, the second for Team Andrew. Doug giving her a little bit more ice, it looks like. Her hit weight tends to be lighter. Unfortunately, she's put this one inside, and the sweepers are on it right away. This one coming off the center line. Seeing rocks coming off the center line more than we did yesterday, hoping to just get a piece, but the shooter would roll out. No, that's a miss. The sweepers are off now, and that looks like about the amount that she missed that one by on the line. Good call there by Doug, but hits are always difficult. If you miss the line, there's not a whole lot that can be done. Bill McDonald's second rock here in the second end. And there you see how much that this sheet is curling. We've seen this throughout the weekend, and especially right after the scrapes that we've had of the ice. Can throw rocks pretty far out, and they'll start to curl back about 3 feet, maybe even 4.5 feet as this game goes on a little bit later on. Nice guard there by McDonald. Sweepers really doing a good job to pull that one over. So Doug Andrew just wanting to, again, try to get rid of that shot rock there for red. And this time she's put a little bit more weight on it. This one's going to need to move over, and now, well, now it's coming, so that's going to be good for the hit, but the shooter is going to roll out, it looks like. Ashford doing all he can, and he's at least managed to sweep that into the coffin corner. So no rocks in the house as Rich Ashford is going to slide down to throw his third rock. Ashford skipping, Brian Gelbach vicing, but they've switched the throwing order between the two of them. A little bit of a change from last night. Gelbach was throwing fourth rocks last night, but some issues that seemed to be coming up in their game and just really never got momentum going against Baird out on sheet D in last night's matchup. Right now, things look to be going pretty well. Ashford, so far, it's very early, but calling a good, strategically sound game. Doug Andrew as well, just unfortunately hasn't had quite as many made shots from his team. Rich Ashford actually from around Pittsburgh, a former curler out of the Pittsburgh Curling Club, now curling out of New Pond up in Massachusetts. In fact, he was proudly proclaiming, and I can vouch for this, it was true, that New Pond indeed closed down the bar here at the club last night. So it's not always about the results on the ice. Sometimes there's great pride in just being able to close out the bar. Nice draw there, a little bit heavy to the back of the 8-foot, leaving some options there for Dave Hamilton as he gets set to throw his first rock here in the second end. Good line, though, by Ashford. Dave Hamilton's rock is away. Weight looks like it may be a little bit heavy. Line looks pretty good, though. This one's going to have to come over a lot more and needs to start really digging in if this one's going to get over to that red rock. And that's not going to come over enough. Again, good line call there, but just too much weight as that one sails. Well, maybe not sails, but just glides out the back of the house. Rich Ashford just pointing to exactly right where he wants to put it, sitting at the top of the 12-foot. Almost like a biter guard, really, sitting about maybe half on the 12, half off. And just adding some extra protection to that shot rock sitting there in the back of the 8-foot. So the broom is set, looking for about 2.5 to 3 feet of curl this way. Maybe a little bit less curl in this direction from right to left on your computer screen than from left to right, where we'd see about 3.5, maybe 4 feet of curl. Rich calling sweepers off, saying that this one's heavy, and I would have to agree. I think he's done just the exact same thing that Dave Hamilton just did one rock ago. Doug Andrews just going to watch it. He's not even going to bother worrying about sweeping that one by as it glides all the way to the hack on its own. So Doug Andrew going to call for the same shot again. Maybe giving just a little bit more ice than the last time. Hamilton, with his second rock here, just wants to put a freeze on that one in the back 8. Weight looks like it's down just a little bit, but I'm not sure that's really going to be enough. I think ice conditions may be picking up, and these teams have not quite adjusted yet. As we're seeing 3 rocks in a row that are going heavy through the back of the house. So 2 rocks for each team to go here in this second end. Rocks of Granite being skipped by Rich Ashford, with Brian Gelbach throwing 4th rocks. Have a 2-0 lead on Doug Andrews' 2 lefts make a right team. I'm not sure what kind of geometry Doug is working in. Where I come from, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do. Again, same broom placement here on this, pretty much the same shot call. So again, expecting about 2.5 to 3 feet of curl. Both of these skips really seem to have the line figured out pretty well thus far on this ice. But the weight has been a little bit harder to come by, especially in this second end. Gelbach's first rock. Sweepers have not touched it yet. They really want to. Bill McDonald couldn't help himself to get 1 stroke in. This weight is much better, but it's not coming over as much as he would like. And it's a little heavy sitting right there touching the top button. And you can be pretty sure that Doug Andrew is going to be coming down to that one. Maybe tap it back just a little bit. Doesn't really want to take it out unless he's able to get an inside roll. Now the broom moving inside, so maybe he is going to play the hit and roll inside. He doesn't want to leave it wide open and leave the opportunity for Gelbach to come back with a hit and roll behind guard and sit 2. No matter what, though, this end is shaping up much better for Andrew than that first end. Only that 1 guard that's really in play when it comes to the 4-foot circle. So no matter what happens here, aside from just a complete disaster, he's going to have a shot at the house and have a good opportunity to put 1 on the board here in this second end with the hammer. Andrew's first rock is away here. Sweepers on this one. Kind of early. Called off now. Line's pretty close. Not a great view that we have right now. And he's gone the opposite way and managed to hit that one and leave it exposed and not take out any rocks out of the house. Not a good result there, as Gelbach has an opportunity to hit and either roll or stick around. Could roll in either direction just a little bit and be sitting 3. But again, Andrew still has an opportunity to be able to draw in for 1, or maybe even play a hit and stick on that 1 red rock sitting in the back of the 4-foot to take his 1. We'll give you a closer look at the house after this shot. Last rock here for the Rocks of Granite in this second end. And sweepers are on this one early, and I can hear them yelling already pretty furiously just to make sure that they get this one in good position. It's the hit, and he just sticks around right in place. Not a bad result, probably not quite what he wanted. You can see Gelbach saying that's fine, not concerned at all. No matter what, Doug Andrew is going to have an opportunity here. As you take a look and see, right now it is, again, 3 red. As you can see, that red rock sitting in the back of the 12-foot and still counting. So Doug has a good draw to catch. Full 4-foot should be fine. He can't completely come down to that red rock in the back of the house. I don't think that will outcount the shot rock sitting just about full 4-foot. If he does come heavy, he can feel pretty confident, Doug can, that he'll just end up cutting things down to 1. But you don't want to give away too many 1-point steals early on. This is a really good opportunity for him to get on the board, keep things close, and then wait for a good opportunity for some bigger ends later in this game. Here comes the hammer. Line looks pretty good here. This one is really just in the sweeper's hands. Guard is not in play, so it is all coming down to weight. Tommy's still sweeping it, even though that one is looking heavy for a while. He's just going to come down to the one in the back. And just as I was afraid of, it's heavy. It comes down to the back one, and that's going to be a steal of 1 for red. Ashford and Gelbach got away with one there, as Doug Andrew comes up too heavy and is very grateful to have that backing there to save him. That could have been a steal of 3. It turns out to be just a steal of 1. 3-0 after 2 ends. So once again, Rich Ashford calling for the draw to the top 4-foot here in the third end. Not quite as unconventional of a strategy as you might think. Many other skips will go for that. Kind of depends on your team dynamics and really what kind of strategy you want to employ overall. If you feel like you're a better hitting team or just simply think the other team doesn't hit well, you could do well to put several rocks in the house, wait for your opponent to miss several times, and then end up having opportunities either to steal on a miss on the hammer or at least force one. So Corrali's first rock sitting there about top 12 to top 8 foot. And Tommy Hamilton will look to take this one out of play. He came out of the hack pretty heavy, but the line was definitely not right for a hit. Sweeper's just walking with this one, watching it keep gliding, probably wishing they could sprinkle some pocket lit in front of it. It looks like it's a bit heavy, but actually not as bad as I thought. Again, this is why they're judging weight, and I'm just sitting here talking to you. Rich Ashford giving very tight ice here on this hit. Corrali with plenty of weight on this one. Sweeper's on this one early. Awfully tight ice there, but it looks like he should have the hit and going to stick around right on the nose. No problem there for him. Red off to a good early start. Corrali's been putting rocks where he's been making the misses that he's been making have not been that bad. They've just been maybe a little bit offline, maybe a little bit light, but it's definitely not something where want top 4 and he ends up putting a guard out there, something that would really change the strategy of the game. That's what good leads will do. They'll keep you in the game and really help you set the strategy that you want to play. Tommy Hamilton's second rock, he's going to play the hit as well, coming right down to that same area. And he's come to the outside. He'll take the shot rock out, but the shooter's going to roll out as well. Rich calling for one, sitting right about the top house, top 8, top 12. Just wants to get them pretty much about the same depth to take away any possibility of a double. Bill McDonald on the draw here for his first rock of the third end. Might be a little bit heavy. Sweepers are staying away from this one. Now they're getting in position maybe to give it just a little bit. Fresh ice out there. We haven't seen many rocks go out that far. And a very nice rock there by Bill McDonald. He's got those set up beautifully. Both touching the 12-foot, and definitely no double opportunity there. Kept the 4-foot wide open, but that doesn't seem to have been a problem thus far. Pam Hamilton with her first rock here in the third end. Throwing the outturn, but throwing too much weight at it, it looks like. If that was intended to be a hit, that didn't look like the right ice, certainly with that weight. And if it was intended to be a draw, it was way too much weight. I was thinking that had a chance to be a draw behind. Not sure what that was other than the end result of the dreaded field goal. Not sure if Rich is saying there that he wants this one on the tee or wants to make sure that this definitely is not getting to the tee line. I would think he'd want to keep these rocks out in front of the house, kind of about the depth where he has it right now. Bill looks like he's given this one a fair amount of weight, and again, Sweepers just backing off. Now they get on it. That one might have hit a patch where it suddenly started to dig in. Or they just wanted to make sure to get that one safely between the reds and out the back of the house. So a lot of ice for a hit. Pam has been showing that she's got more hit weight than we saw in the first end. Line is tight, and she's put this one well inside. Sweepers on this one hard all the way, just trying to get that one rock out. I think they're going to hold this one. Shouldn't be a problem getting a nose hit on the left side as you're seeing it at home. So Rocks of Granite still sitting 1 right now. And again, should be pretty happy just to trade hits. All 4 of them have been playing pretty consistently well here. Haven't had very many difficult shots to throw. And part of that has been because they've just been making draws and takeouts routinely and just being able to really play their game. Put rocks in the house, trade hits. I think they feel confident they can out-hit their opponent. Rich Ashford with his first rock here in the third end. Sweepers not touching this one. Going to get a bit of an inside roll. Might be able to bring that one behind. No, it does not. Those two are pretty close together. So there is an opportunity for a double if Hamilton can punch this one right in the crotch. Dave Hamilton set to throw his first rock of the third end. Sweepers on this one early. just trying to get enough of both of those red rocks. There's space there, and they're going to get one of them, but that's going to be it. Just the nose hit there on the inside rock. Red still sitting one. Kind of close here as Rich Ashford comes down to throw his second. And it's definitely going to be the hit on the yellow once again. Now, he might not mind a little bit of a roll to the outside here. He's not going to be able to get an inside roll if he hits it over there. The yellow is just going to jam on the red rock that's sitting deeper. Shots away, sweepers on this one right away. Trying to hold this one on the outside to get a roll. And he does. Get some separation on that. That's a little bit better. Still definitely room to put the yellow rock on an in-turn right in there between the two. Oh, but Doug Andrew calling for the out-turn on this one. Definitely surprised that he's trying to do that. I don't see a way that he's going to be able to really get both of those out at this point. He may just be going for that one-shot rock first and then and not really worry about getting the double. And instead, that one just hangs out to the outside. As the shooter rolls out of the rings, that's not going to be useful, and so we're back to one red. Looks like Ashford's calling for about T-line weight. Definitely don't want anything that's going to be further than T. You don't want to give an opportunity for Doug Andrew to be able to freeze onto anything. Brian Gelbach not looking like he's really comfortable throwing quite that far out. He's calling for the broom to get moved a little bit more to the inside. So just a draw here for Brian Gelbach on his first rock in this third end. Sweepers just walking down there with this one. Might be a little heavy, now they're on it. Try to see if they can get a little bit of a split or a draw behind. And he's put this one deep into the back gate. It's going to sit there about half on the back gate, half on the back 12. It is 2 right now for Rocks of Granite. But with that one sitting in the back of the house, now there's an opportunity. Doug Andrew has a target to be able to freeze right down onto. He can throw pretty much that same shot. Doesn't even have to be a straight freeze for him to be able to sit shot rock here. Good opportunity for him to be able to pick up at least one this end. With a really good freeze, he may be able to throw the hammer to try to score 2 and just close the gap to 1. A little bit of discussion now. Looks like he may be going for the hit instead here. He is. There is a double possibility. It's fairly long, but if he hits this one either on the nose or maybe just a little bit to the right of it, he can catch the double. Very tight ice, I think. We know that Doug Andrew can throw the weight. Not much room for error, though, when you're trying to throw a long double like this. Doug Andrew with his first rock here. Going with about a control weight hit. Maybe a little bit up from that. Line is all important on this one as far as where is he going to hit on that red rock. Gets just the one as he comes too far over to the inside. And the shooter rolling out to the left. Is he going to catch a piece of the house? No, he is not. So it is still red sitting 1 and no yellow rocks in the house at all. So I think that probably putting a red rock right about where that one was just sitting, in front, maybe about top 12 to top 8 depth, should be pretty good here. If you can get to full 8 foot, then that will make it red sitting 2, and again will force Doug Andrew to throw a cold draw to the 4 foot to pick up 1. Ashford calling for the in-turn on this one. If he's looking to put that one in front, he's looking for about maybe 3.5, almost 4 feet of curl on this draw. So last rock here in the third end from Brian Gelbach. Sweepers on this one early. Weight appears to be light. They're on this one hard. It's probably going to be more of a guard. Is definitely going to be more of a guard, as this one is at least going to clear the hog line. Brian's come back around now to join in the sweeping fest. And he's brought this one all the way to the top 12, catching just a little bit of the top 8 foot. Sitting 2 right now. Doug still has that one that he can freeze onto in the back. Could even just tap it back if he gets it right on the nose and be able to sit and score 1. A big moment in this game. Doug really needs to get 1 in this end and not give up another steal and be down 4-0 or 5-0 after 3 ends. At a certain point, this one will start to get away from you if you're not careful. We've seen quite a bit of curl coming from this side, coming from right to left on these out turns. Hammer is away. Sweepers on this one. They got to watch out. They might be catching a piece of that top 12. Doing a good job of holding that line. Now the guard's definitely out of play, and they should be able to come right down safely onto the red rock in the back of the house. Brian looking for anything to sweep, but it's not going to matter. That is 1 for Doug Andrew, and that's a big shot to get the momentum swinging back his way. So 2 lefts make a right, get on the board now, and it is still 3-1 in favor of the Rocks of Granite after 3 ends here in this second event match at the 2012 inaugural Bonspiel. David Bykowski back here with you, along with Michael Dobbs, our technical expert, providing all the camera angles you want to see here in this, our feature game between Doug Andrews' 2 lefts make a right team and Brian Gelbach's Rocks of Granite team, though Rich Ashford is doing the skipping for him and Brian throwing 4th rocks. 3-1 your score in favor of the Rocks of Granite, who now have the hammer after picking up a steal of 2 and a steal of 1 in the first 2 ends. Doug Andrew with a nice draw down to a rock sitting in the back of the 8 foot to pick up 1 with the hammer in the third end. Tommy Hamilton, the lead for Doug Andrews' team, throwing his guard right there on those wheelchair lines that we see. Some people are wondering why, if you look at some of our camera angles, you can see that those 4-foot lines don't look even between the hog lines as opposed to right there by the house. The ones by the house are actually for wheelchair curling, and the other ones are actually 4 feet out just for, well, in fact, in many cases they're called TV lines. So First rock here from Brandon Corrali, trying to draw around that semi-corner guard that Tommy Hamilton threw on his first shot. Gets this one just to the top of the 12-foot, a little bit light and still out in the open. Doug Andrew looking to hit this one. A good nose hit. Ought to be able to still leave this one, I think, as a guard. I can't tell quite how deep that one is. Well, a nose hit looks like it's actually going to end up still sitting in the house. Doug Andrew calling the sweepers off. Now he's got them on it. Just looking for the nose hit. He's going to get a little bit of a roll to the outside. Sitting in the 12-foot. Not a bad result, though. That one was probably going to be sitting in the house just about no matter what. And if it wasn't in the house, it wasn't going to be in a useful position, sitting way too far out to the sides. Corrali with his second rock looking to just take out that shot rock from Andrew's team. Sweeper's on this one hard now. At least going to take that one out, and the shooter will roll out. So about an average shot there. Would have liked to have kept that one in play. Would have really liked to have gotten a bit of an inside roll, maybe behind that semi-corner guard there. The way that one's positioned right now, it might actually be helping Rich Ashford a little bit more than it's helping Doug Andrew. 4-foot still pretty wide open. Pam Hamilton with her first rock here, throwing second for the Andrew rink. Doug looking to just block up the front. Sweeper's on this one right away as this one looks very light and pretty tight as well. They may be able to sweep this one down and get a rub off of that corner guard, but that's coming over a little too much. That is a good sweeping job to make that rock at least useful as they look to put up a couple of guards and have something to draw behind, get a chance to steal here. Rich Ashford wants none of it. He wants Bill to get rid of both of them. Even for a second, Bill McDonald, not really a big weight thrower. When he does, he'll often tend to give the rocks a little bit more of a shove, and that's what happens. He stayed with it, and he might actually still be able to get one out of this. No, he's pushed this one too far across the center line. Well, when you're skipping, you want to call shots that you know are within your teammates' abilities, and that one he may have gone a little too far on that. Just maybe trying to get rid of just one of them might have been the better call, and just keep the weight within the realm of what Bill feels comfortable throwing. You've got to, if you're going to be successful as a skip, call a game that your team can actually throw. If there are shots that your players can't make, don't call them. So Pam Hamilton looking to draw behind those guards, but she's thrown this one heavy, and this one looks destined for the garage. Well, Rich is going to try this again. I think maybe he's given Bill a little bit more ice. I'm not entirely sure. Much better delivery coming out of the hack by Bill McDonald there. And he looks like he's in pretty good position at least to get one of them. It would be nice if he can get a little bit of the left side of that top rock to be able to roll out. And it turns out to be just a color swap. So still a couple of guards in play there. And Dave Hamilton will try his best to see if he can draw behind those rocks and perhaps fare a little bit better than his wife did throwing second. Again, ice conditions overall on the weekend have been fairly swingy, oftentimes getting up to about 3.5 to 4 feet of curl, and certainly getting to be quite fast many times, especially in these draws that have come right after scraping has been done. We saw that yesterday in the early games, and we may be seeing that again now, and that's making it difficult to find the right weight calls on these shots. So Dave's shot didn't curl over as much as would have been desired, and Brian is going to call for Rich to just take that yellow rock out, and he's got a couple of guards that he can get a hit and roll behind to sit one protected. Rich Ashford's rock is away. Brian calling the sweepers off on this one as it looks like it's still hanging a little bit on the outside. Not getting an inside roll on this one. He may get just a nose hit, tiny little bit of outside roll. No problem there, though. Not the result that Brian really wanted, as he engages in a lively conversation with Rich Ashford about that one. Doug Andrew wants to get rid of that red rock sitting there in the top of the house and probably try again to do the same thing, hit and roll behind the guards. Dave with a good amount of weight on this one, but this one is hanging out there and is still going all the way to the outside. Sweepers are not going to touch this one at all. He's at least gotten the shot rock out of there, but the shooter will have no chance of sticking around. So back to an empty house, just the two guards sitting out there. Rich wisely looking for the outturn on this shot to draw behind the guards that are stacked much better with that angle for an outturn than an inturn. Coming up after this end, we'll give you an update on the other matches that are going on here on sheets A, C, and D. Plenty of other action going on here in the 2012 inaugural Bonspiel. Rich Ashford with his second rock of this fourth end. And it looks like he has thrown this one heavy. He doesn't like it. The sweepers don't like it. And neither does Brian, as he'll just sweep it out himself, courtesy sweeping his own team's rock. We've seen very, very open houses for most of these ends here for these two teams. And when you're looking at that, I think that has to play in the favor of Rich Ashford's team. They've been making hits. Again, most of their misses really have been ones where just the shooter rolls out. They've been an average miss. You'd score it maybe about a 2 out of 4 rather than a 0 out of 4. And that's really been making the difference in this game. Still 3-1, though. All it would take is a nice draw for Doug behind those guards, and it could be trouble, could be hard for Brian to get to. Doug Andrew, his rock is away. And this one could have a chance, but this one needs to curl more. And we've seen rocks curl less in this direction than the other one. This one should at least stick around in the back of the house somewhere, probably about the back of the 4, or it's going to sit right there on the button, actually. So not as much curl as he'd like. Really only seeing now maybe about 2, maybe 2.5 feet of curl there from right to left coming back down towards the warm room end here of the ice. Whereas left to right still typically going about 3.5 feet. I would think if you're Rich and Brian here, you just want to go and get a hit. If you can get a little bit of an inside roll, great. If not, just leave it out there and make Doug do something about it. Yes, you do have the hammer, up 3-1, but honestly, this game has really been playing in your favor if you're Red all along. I think that you just have to keep trying to do what you've been doing. Don't really need to do anything crazy at this point. So it looks like a downweight hit here based on the brooming from Ashford. He's given Brian maybe just about a foot worth of ice here. Again, if you've just joined us, it is Rich Ashford and Brian Gelbach throwing the Red Rocks for their Rocks of Granite team with a 3-1 lead here in the fourth end. This is Brian throwing his first rock of this fourth end. This one's not moving much along the center line. It's trying to come in a little bit. He's going to leave this one just hanging out there and not get an inside roll, but not a bad result, though. Brian gives the shoulder shrug, and that should be, yeah, a decent result. So again, Doug Andrew will look to do the same thing, get a hit and roll behind the guards and force Brian to draw for just one. If he leaves this one open, Brian can hit and roll out to get a blank and retain the hammer going into the fifth end. So he really wants to put this one in a place that's going to make Brian deal with it and only pick up one with the hammer. And just like the last rock, this one trying to curl back across the center line. Much less weight here, so this one we're getting a little bit more movement. Is that going to be enough to get the inside roll? Not quite. That one's going to sit just right there, just to the left of the center line. And Brian should have a pretty easy view of being able to catch the right half of that rock and roll the shooter out to get the blank. Now I would expect to go and see a good normal to firm hit weight on this one, just to make sure, even if he catches this one a little more flush, that he can still roll this one out. Again, right along this center line, like we've been seeing most of this weekend, not a whole lot of movement, really, on these hits. Rocks away with at least a normal hit weight, like I was expecting. Sweepers are off this one, and no problem at all for him. A good job on the peel to get the blank. 3-1 your score at the halfway point here. Checking in on the action on the other sheets. As promised, over on sheet A, we have Patrick Corrigan and the Royal Canadian Curling Club taking on Stephen Meschino from Philadelphia. And getting a quick look at the action there, it is Corrigan throwing the yellow rocks, trailing 2-1 with the hammer right now. They've still got about 3 rocks to go in the fourth end. Also in the fourth end, over on sheet C, it is Steve Duberstein taking on Mark Robinson. Duberstein from Philadelphia and Robinson out of Pittsburgh. This one is all Duberstein, as they've managed to take a 9-2 lead through 3 ends. Just a dominant performance there. Over on sheet D, Stephen Enochson from Potomac taking on Murray Jackson from Triangle. And we'll get a score on that momentarily, as part of the scoreboard is being obscured by about 3 players that are standing in the way. It is 4-1 right now in favor of Jackson over there on sheet D. As Stephen gets ready to throw, they're about halfway through the fourth end on that sheet. So we're moving along pretty quickly here. Other action dragging behind just a little bit. as we start the fifth end. Tommy Hamilton, having thrown his first rock, looking for a center guard, turns out to be more of a corner guard there on the left side. Again, that's really just a factor of that direction on the sheet curling more than the other one. Brandon Corrali with his first rock here, lining this one up for the right edge of the 4-foot circle, and look at how much this rock is coming in, trying to come behind that corner guard. I don't know if he's actually going to quite be able to do it. He's clipped the side of it there. So now it's very definitely a corner guard there for yellow, and more of a, yeah, that's pretty close to a center guard there for red at the moment. 3-1 your score. Rocks of Granite with the lead, and they have the hammer right now here in this fifth end of play. Tommy Hamilton's second rock. At least on this end, it seems like we're actually seeing more curl, or this is just a very unusually moving rock. This one is coming across quite a bit, and it seems like it may have slowed down. I don't know if that may have picked up something as it was coming down the ice, but it turns out there's basically 2 corner guards out there now for yellow, which makes sense if you have the hammer, but right now trying to steal, I think right now Tommy's just simply struggling to put center guards in play there. So a very interesting end developing here among the lead rocks. Corrali with his second one. Good line, but something unusual there on the release, and can see that one move in quite a bit after he let that one go, and he knew it as soon as he came up out of his slide. Might be able to get a split on here, and no, instead, actually, it's going to tap the yellow rock over onto the side. He's managed to raise himself into the house at least, though, to sit one, and just tap the corner guard for yellow a little bit further out, not really making that much use at all. So Doug Andrews seeing a double opportunity here for Pam Hamilton. Calling a little bit more than a foot, maybe we'll call it 1.5 feet worth of ice on this shot. Sweeper's on this one right away. I think she's thrown this one tight and looking to just get a piece of either top rock. This one's trying to hang on just to get a little bit. She's got the top guard to clear that out of the way. So red still sitting one at the moment with the hammer. That one rock sitting there in the top of the 8-foot. Rich Ashford probably going to look to use that corner guard on the left side. Indeed, he's tapping the rock over there, looking to throw it about that top 8 weight. Going back and forth on shot calls. Now he's decided to go and throw right back into the center. Looks like he's calling for almost more of a top freeze right there on his own red rock. Coming from left to right on the in-turn. Bill McDonald's shot is away. Sweeper's backing off on this one for now, as Brian trails the rock from behind. Looks like it may be, it's definitely up weight. Is that one going to come behind? It is going to come behind the top 8. And Doug Andrew will sweep that one out, trying to get this one out the back of the house. It is just going to barely hang on to the back of the 12-foot. Just a little bit of a backbiter there. So, and there you see it at the top of your screen right now. Red sitting 2 for the moment, but that shot rock is sitting completely in the open. And this seems like a lot of ice that Doug has called for Pam if he's calling for the hit. Her weight definitely looks like hit weight. She's put this one quite a bit inside again. That seems to have been a consistent issue throughout this game, but it looks like that may work out pretty well. This one could be right on the nose. Going to get a piece of the back one, too, to make the long double. Nice shot by Pam Hamilton to clear them both out of there. And now yellow sitting 1 rock in the house. So Bill McDonald looked to just clear that one out of there. Sweepers on this one right away. Didn't look quite so tight to me as he's put that one just to the left side of the center line. It's moving a bit, and he's going to get just a piece of that with the shooter rolling out of play. So now nothing in the house as we get set for Vice Rocks here in this 5th end. Again, red retaining the hammer, up 3-1. And honestly, even though the scoreboard doesn't really show it, it really feels like they've been pretty much in control of this game. It really feels like Doug Andrew and his team have been trying to chase all throughout, certainly in the early ends, where even with the hammer, it didn't seem to be much of an advantage. A very dominant first end. Red taking a steal of 2 in that first end, and really just denying Doug Andrew any sort of good opportunity with the hammer. A really well put together first end, and it started with those lead rocks from Brandon Corrali and went all the way through that entire lineup. They've been hitting pretty well, and again, you saw the hit and roll out on that last shot from Bill McDonald. That's the kind of misses they've been making. They're good misses. They're the pro side misses. And as long as you keep doing that, that's going to win you a lot of games in these spiels. So Dave Hamilton put up a guard, and Rich Ashford is going to look to get rid of it here. First rock for Rich Ashford here in the 5th end. Just looking to peel this one out. He's just barely going to get a piece of it, roll the shooter out. That's pretty much exactly what he was looking for there. So Dave Hamilton getting set for his second shot. Doug seems to know what he wants to call, but he hasn't told any of us yet. So just calling for another draw, maybe to go and leave this one somewhere up front. I think he'd rather have this one somewhere around top 12, top 8 foot here. Rock is away. Got a little bit more weight on this one than his first one did, it appears. Sweepers waiting for this one to turn before they get on it. Now it's starting to come back in. Sweepers still not on this one yet. They may be wanting to leave this one a little bit higher up. Well, so he's put another 3 guard up there. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not sure I completely understand that. There's no reason not to at least get a little bit of a biter sitting there at the top of the house. We're not dealing with the free guard zone at this point. There's no, and really, Rich and Brian are going to be content just to clear those guards out. For a moment, Brian was making a motion like it looked like he was trying to drop the people's elbow on somebody. Not sure what that was about. So Rich once again going to take out that center guard that Dave has just put up there. Sweepers are on this one. Bill needs to get his sweeping right out in front of the rock. And Rich has got it, and again the shooter rolling safely away. Didn't quite get that one out of play, but sitting way out there right next to the sideline, there's nothing that's going to happen with that one. So Dave Hamilton pointing the broom right there around the top 12, maybe even a little bit of the top 8 foot for this draw. That makes a lot of sense, I think. Doug Andrews' draw weight has been a little heavy today. He's needed the rocks in the back of the house to draw down to. either to save himself on heavy draws or his good draw there in the third end that gave him 1 to get on the scoreboard. We'll see if he can pull back just a little bit on this one and leave this somewhere in the top of the house. Rich and Brian have to be happy with the way this one's looking. No rocks in the house right now. Still holding the hammer. They may blank this end again. Definitely much better weight from Doug Andrew on this rock. Sweepers are on this one now. Gonna need to hustle if they're gonna get this one up there to the house, though. They might have sat on that one a little bit too long. I think Doug really gave them an opportunity to sweep that one in, and he's left it short. And again, they've been doing it for 2 shots. Why not do it a third time and get rid of the guard? Well, now Rich is going to call for the draw. Drawing behind the center guard with the hammer. I don't know. I think he's kind of flirting with disaster a little bit. If he leaves this one exposed, Doug gets a hit and roll behind the guard. Then Brian will have to scramble with the hammer to avoid giving up a steal of 1. If you take that center guard out of play, then you're again maybe forcing Doug to either draw behind either of those corner guards, which he's going to have a much better view of to be able to get a hit. So that guard's in a good spot right now. I'd get rid of it if I were him. So Brian's first rock is away. Weight looks like it may be a little heavy, and now it's starting to come in, trying to get it around that center guard. Sweeper's working this one pretty hard. They're going to get that one in, and that looks like that may be right there, catching the top of the 4-foot right behind the center guard. A beautiful draw there. Absolutely perfect shot by Brian Gelbach. So Dave and Doug looking at that, probably saying those words that Skips often do. Nice shot, damn it. I think you have to look at the run back hit here. The guard is set up nicely to go right back onto the red rock. If you hit it straight on, that's going to come in and still leave that 1-shot rock protected behind guard. Well, it looks like Doug is looking to throw the draw behind. He's given himself a lot of ice on this shot. Very tough shot here for him to be able to do, and he's going to have to. It's going to have to be tough also for the sweepers to bring this one behind the guard. He can't leave this one exposed, otherwise it'll be a fairly easy hit and stick or roll either way just to stay anywhere in the house to get 2 for Ashford and Gelbach. Doug Andrew with his final rock here in this 5th end. Sweepers on this one, looking pretty good so far. It's got to come over a lot more than it is now. They got to stay on this one the entire way now if they want to bring this one behind guard. And I think he may have called for a little too much ice there. The weight was beautiful, but he's left this one open. And Brian takes no time at all to look at the hit. Rich puts the broom pretty close, maybe about 6 to 9 inches away. Nose hit will be perfect here, but he's got room to work with. Even if he leaves this one a little to the outside, he's got still 5 to 6 feet of house that he can roll in and stay in the rings to count for 2. And Brian swings the hammer away. Plenty of weight on this one. He's waiting for this one to come back just a little bit. Sweepers don't really need to do anything with it. And a nice hit. Rolls a little to the outside and sticks around to score 2. Two great shots there by Brian Gelbach, especially his first rock. Put a deuce on the board for the Rocks of Granite, who now extend their lead to 5-1 as we get ready to play the sixth end. Up 5-1 with 3 ends to go. Rich Ashford calling for the draw to the top 4 foot. Seems like a very good idea at this point. Don't really need guards in play. He hasn't been playing with guards really this entire time. And Brandon, maybe the line hasn't been great, but he's doing a really good job of throwing the rocks to about the top of the 8 foot. Now Brandon is out there sweeping, going backwards. Not the exact thing you don't want to see anyone doing. Your thrower sweeping their own rock, walking backwards, 3 sweepers on the rock, and he's left it as a guard. Well, that's the first bad miss by Brandon Corrali this entire game, and that's why the Red is up 5-1 here in the sixth end. Leads and seconds definitely shape the end, and really the front end has been playing much stronger than Doug Andrews' front end has been in this game. Tommy Hamilton with his first rock. Coming off the center line and still going from left to right on your computer screen. Well, he's put up a corner guard that actually could be very useful later. We'll see how they choose to take advantage of that one strategy-wise. Rich calling for the draw behind that center guard. The textbook play here. It may be just a little too early for the so-called peel of shame of peeling out your own guard that you just put up with your last rock. Sweeper staying close to this one. They're getting this one just around the guard, and now trying to bury this one behind. No, it actually gets just a little bit of a rub off of it. That one was looking really good. I thought that was going to bury behind there. As Doug and Rich share a little bit of a laugh there in the back of the house. I think Rich thought it was going to be coming around there too. I think that one may have fooled all of us. Doug calling for the hit. Sweepers on this one right away as Tommy Hamilton has put this one inside. Line looked pretty good, but his release looked like it may have dumped it in or out, and he has missed it completely. Rich calling for the tap back, certainly one of my favorite shots. And a very good idea here. Up 4 without the hammer. Put one that's in the 4 foot and really have a couple of rocks sitting out there in front to really just control that area. That's something they did very well in the first end of this game, and the result was a steal of 2. Four to 2 the score in 2 other games going on right now. 4-2 the score in favor of Murray Jackson's Triangle team over on sheet D as they take on Stephen Enochson's Potomac ring. As we get a look here at this tap back, right there to about the tee line, well placed behind the guard that they already had in play, and they've got a biter sitting up there up front over to the left of the center line. That's a really good result there. Not sure what Rich is trying to tell me here through the glass, but whatever he says, I don't care. I think that was a good shot. Pam Hamilton with her first rock here in the sixth end. Sweepers on this one now, about a third of the way down the sheet. This one looks destined to run back the red guard. This could be a very bad result. Doug calling them off just to hopefully let it come over a little bit more. This one actually could work out and open up a little bit more of a view on the shot rock. Yeah, it's not bad. It's got enough room where the rock will fit now. That's going to be a tough shot, especially if you don't throw enough weight at it, and coming from that ice, it is going to swing more going from left to right through that hole, and you have to throw from that turn coming through that port. Rich, however, wants to bump another one up into the forefoot here, calling for another tap back on the front biter. Sweepers on this one early. Rich imploring them to keep going as hard as they can. And he gets the tap, but it's not as deep as he would have liked. So second shot sitting wide open. Doug Andrew probably hearing my friend Vince Saratella, who would yell at this point, "Do we have the hammer?" Implying, yes, you have the hammer. Get rid of the guards, you fool. Pam second rock away, looking to get rid of something here. Probably going to get rid of that guard that's sitting over on the right side. And spilling out. So she gets rid of one of them. Probably not the one that was actually most important. Really that one that's just to the left, sitting on the center line, just maybe more to the left of it. That's the one you really want to get rid of to get access to that shot rock if you're going to have any good opportunity to be able to get some points this end. So I'm not sure if he's looking to play a tap back on that guard that's sitting up there. Other option could be to be simply playing a guard to block that port and really secure a little extra protection in front of that rock sitting there in the forefoot, the shot rock for red. That's definitely heavy for a guard. That's heavy for a tap. That may just simply be heavy. And they're going to try to bring this one straight through the house. You're going to get a wick off of it. He gets a little bit of a rub, not enough to do anything there. That was a good idea there by Gelbach to try to either safely bring that one through, or maybe he could have just let that one get out there just a little bit more to the side and catch a piece of it just to see if he can get that rock to stick around pretty much anywhere. Dave Hamilton will try his shot here to get rid of that center guard up front. Again, 4-2 is the score over on sheet A. Patrick Corrigan's Royal Canadian rink leading Steve Meschino's Philadelphia rink. 4-2, also the score through 4 ends over on sheet D. Murray Jackson from Triangle leading Steven Enigson. And they have a measurement going on over there. Over on sheet C, that game is probably going to be wrapping up pretty soon. It is 10-2, Duberstein all over Mark Robinson. Philadelphia with the edge over Pittsburgh on that one. There's the handshakes over there on sheet C. Nice job clearing out the guard there by Dave Hamilton on his first rock. Rich Ashford will look to put it back. Rich just looking to go and get rid of that yellow rock in the house. He's got enough of it that he can roll out safely. So no real problems there. Red still sitting 1-2 in the house. And Doug Andrew with the hammer, down by 4, just looks to play a hit on that shot rock sitting there right in the middle. Now he's got enough room if he can get a little bit, enough of a roll out to the left side behind a corner guard. That could be really good. He can still come behind that corner guard and be sitting shot. Because right now, the way that these hits are going for Ashford and Gelbach, if he leaves this one right there in the open, and he hasn't done that. In fact, it rolls all the way to the other side of the house, and he's using the guards over there to sit shot rock in actually an even better position. So that actually turned out to be a very good result. And now Doug Andrews sitting shot over there on the right side of the house, on the right side of the house, yes. Every once in a while it might help for me to actually look at what you're seeing on the screen at home rather than looking at my other monitor here at the club. So Gelbach thinking about, now he's looking to play a tap back or a run back on his red rock sitting over there on the right side. Either tap it back to sit shot. Got a little bit of a backing over there on the right side. It's always tough when you're trying to call your own shots and change the strategy from out in the hack. Let's see how this one goes. Brian's shot is away here. First of the 4th rocks in this 6th end. Definitely getting plenty of curl. The line's looking pretty good. It's got to move a little bit more. It's still trying to come off that center line a little more. Now it's coming over. Has he got enough on this? He's got enough weight, but the line not quite right, but he's got it good enough to at least sit shot rock. Pretty good result, actually, all things considered. Tough call there. A very gutsy call, I think, at this point. Gelbach really wanting to just put the game away right here. Doug Andrew and Dave Hamilton talking strategy here. If you're, at this point, you're down by 4 with the hammer. I don't know that they can see. It's hard to tell at this point. There's enough of a port that he can go through. He can actually tick that shot rock out and hang around, maybe behind the red, maybe be able to just anywhere, just about at all, to be able to sit 2. And I think that's the call that he's playing. Through the port, tap the red out, or at least out of being 1 or 2, and leave his own yellow rock there to sit 2. Tough shot. This is starting to become a must-make situation. If Doug doesn't score here, he'll be down at least 5 with 2 ends to go. A very uncomfortable situation to be in. Rock's coming down there. Sweepers staying close. Wait. Now they're on it. Looks like it needs it for weight. How's the line, though? Is it going to get over? Is it going to get over there to the red rock? It is not, and it's going to just rub off of their own yellow there. So Doug Andrew is sitting 2 and 3, but that shot rock is still sitting in a very nice position, and Brian really wants to put anything there to protect it. Something right there in the top 12, touching the top 8, be able to count sitting 1-2. Rich is thinking about guarding the open side there. I actually like Brian's strategy here. I think that he's got a good idea to try to put something, sit 1-2, go ahead and make Doug have to draw for 1. Yes, he's got plenty of room there. If we block the shot on the other side, though, he still has an opportunity to make the same shot. This time, get the line right, maybe throw a little more weight on it and a little tighter line. If he makes that shot, he could be picking up 3. That's what you don't want. 1 is perfectly fine here when you're up by 4 in the 6th end. If you give away a big number, though, then you're in trouble. So it looks like Brian's strategy has won out on this call. And again, just for the record, I like this. I think this is a really good strategy, just to do anything to force Doug to really have to play for just 1 and take away the option over there. I mean, the other opportunity could be to go and draw, actually, to the 4-foot on the open side. Sweepers on this one now. Could be a weight looks pretty good if they stay with this one. The line is not looking great, but I think this is going to work out for him. And that is 1-2 now. So the shot rock is sitting wide open, but that second shot sitting over there, half on the 8-foot, is in position that I don't think that there's going to be any possibility. There could be I don't think that there's really, they're looking at the extremely thin double here. It's there, but I think that is a very tough shot. But at this point, you are down by 4. 1 is probably not going to be enough for you. I think you have to go for it at this point. Michael Dobbs shaking his nodding his head in vigorous agreement, sitting next to him, I hear. Doug staring at this one. Doesn't matter, Doug. The longer you look at the rocks, they're not going to go anywhere. They might start moving after a couple million years. So Doug Andrew comes with the hammer here. And Michael, I don't think he's throwing the double. It looks like he's throwing just the hit here. At least given that ice. If you're going to throw for the double, I think you've got to go with the in-turn on this one. Sweepers are on it. The weight is fine, but they're just looking to catch this one fairly flush. He's got the tap, and he's made a good shot, but it's only going to be good enough for 1. Really had he made that one much closer than I expected was going to. Sweepers maybe just needed to be off of that one a little bit, and honestly, maybe Doug needed just a little bit more weight on that one. So Doug Andrew and his team will take 1. And heading into the 7th end now, they trail 5-2. Tommy Hamilton throwing his first rock here in the 7th end for Doug Andrews' team. They trail Two lefts make a right is their name. They trail 5-2 to Brian Gelbach and Rich Ashford's Rocks of Granite. Tommy absolutely has to have a guard on this one, and I don't think, no, they have not gotten that one over the hog line. A huge miss there for them, especially against a team where that has been making hit after hit after hit in this game. Got to have those guards in play, and you know as soon as they can, they're going to start clearing those guards out. Well, Rich Ashford just simply wanted that one in the house over there on the left side. He's got that one sitting up there in the top of the house pretty safely. Of course, Doug says, I don't care, I need a guard. So now we go from one guard to one that's sitting in the top of the 12-foot, and Brandon is going to get this one out of there, or at least he's going to try. Sweeper's on this one right away, and this one's going to come across the face. He's missed it completely. A very fortunate break there for Doug Andrew and his team, but they are by no means out of the woods yet. Trailing 5-2, they don't have the hammer. They're going to need to get at least 2 steals in a row. Probably going to be 3. I would be surprised to see back-to-back steals of 2 for a win. They're going to need at least 1 steal of at least 2 in these next couple of ends. Very tough to do. Pam Hamilton with her second shot. Now this is where her draw theoretically might be a little bit easier given that she's throwing left-handed, so coming out of the right side of the hack, she's got a little bit more room to work with, and especially on this side where it's curling a little bit more. Well, instead of the draw behind, might be playing the tap back, it looks like, as that rock is going to get elevated to about getting a little bit of the 4-foot circle there. However, that one's pretty wide open. Bill McDonald's going to try to get rid of this one. We're going to see how strong this team really is. These are sometimes the most difficult hits to make. And Sweeper's on this one again. Alignment issues on a couple of hits here in the 7th end for Rocks of Granite. And this one keeps moving further to the outside. They've at least gotten rid of the top one, and that will be it. So Andrew still sitting 1. Without the hammer, he's got to keep that rock protected if he's going to have any hope of getting a steal here in this end. Probably going to have to hope for a mistake somewhere by Rocks of Granite if he's going to have any chance to get a steal of 2. He's going to need 2 at some point, but 1 will at least keep him in the game for now. I think any score by Rocks of Granite here with the hammer, and this game will be over. Sweeper's on this one for weight. Got to be careful they don't sweep this one too far over and neglect the line now that they come off of it, as this one continues to move from right to left, and that really, well, not much of a guard there. Bill McDonald's going to be able to see at least half of that shot rock there for yellow. Rich just simply calling for maybe about backline to hack weight. And again, sweepers on this one right away. This one looking better, though. Now they come off of it. I was a little surprised they were on that one right away. It looked like that was pretty good outside of anything, and it's hanging a little to the outside, but that'll be fine. That's going to be good enough to get the shot rock out. Shooter's going to stick around and be sitting all the way over on the other side of the house. So as Dave Hamilton gets set to throw his first of the Vice Rocks here in this 7th end, Red is sitting 2, up 3 on the scoreboard, and in very good position to close this game out here in this 7th end. Dave Hamilton with his first rock. He's still got a guard that he can work with over there on the left side, trying to put something behind it. Looks a little bit up weight. This one's still got plenty of glide as it goes across the hog line. And that one's destined for the back of the house. Probably going to be sailing on through. Rich is going to make sure of that. It's going to just hang on to the back 12. Not useful given the position of those 2 red rocks. One full 12-foot and the shot rock over on the right side sitting full 8-foot, as you can see on your screen right now. Brian will be happy to go and have Rich get rid of this guard up front. That guard is nothing but trouble right now. Rich Ashford with his rock away here. It's actually, that is not a hit. I have no idea. I guess he's just trying to put more rocks in the house here. So he's just drawn to the top 12. Not right on the center line. He's going to come a little deeper than that, but a little bit of a shrug face there from Brian Gelbach. But when you're up 3, you're sitting 3 in the 6th end and the 7th end, and you have the hammer. It's kind of hard to really complain about that. That's a very bad miss there by Dave Hamilton, sailing that one right through the house, missing the shot rock completely. Rich Ashford pointing to exactly where he wants the rock to end up. Looking for a guard here. Again, Rich Ashford and Brian Gelbach sitting 3 with the hammer, up 3 in the 7th end. A very good position for them right now. So Gelbach set up a little bit outside of the 12-foot. Looking for about a good, maybe really only about 3 feet of curl here. I think he's going to have to be careful that this one doesn't over-curl. Maybe try to get the sweepers on this one earlier in the shot. And then as it starts to come back, have them come off. Sure enough, sweepers are on this one early. I think Rich has thrown this one a little inside. He's thrown this one quite a bit inside. This is going to come back a lot. That's definitely not a guard. And at this point, it is also quite heavy. He's going to bring this one probably all the way into the 4-foot. Gets just a little bit of a rub, enough separation that would be a very difficult double there. That's a very large pocket that you can see that he's pointing at. But you have to be pretty precise, I think, to get that one. It can be pretty easy to get just one rock and then lose all of your momentum and not be able to drive the second one out of there. Still, Doug is going to have to try to at least do something with it. And actually, I think he's really going to want to just go and sit right down in there in the pocket. I think he's coming at this with the wrong turn, though. If you take a look, let's go back to that overhead shot. Take a look over there at the forefoot, and you'll see shot rock is right there on the top button. Second shot is actually higher up. You want to come with the turn the other direction from the inside out into the pocket. Right now, he's coming around the outside, and so he's really not going to be able to settle in there. He's taken away some of his margin for error, and he's going to be sitting just right on top of that shot. So Doug's first rock is away here. The other tough thing on this turn is that it's going to swing a lot more, so you're going to have a harder time putting it precisely where you want on line. This one's looking good, though. Started to lose some curl, though, as it's coming in. That is a nice shot, though. That is a very, very nice shot there by Doug Andrew. Sitting second shot, he's cut them down to one, and I don't think Brian can really get rid of that one at all, no matter what he does. Not on this one. The only thing he can do is try to power that one up there, take out both of his own. That's right, the double takeout on both of his own rocks, and then look to run that yellow rock out with the hammer. That said, Doug also still has one more shot. He's got to get a steal here, and that means he's got to do something about that shot rock. If Brian could just simply guard it up and make it difficult for Doug to be able to do anything to that shot, make Doug play on it, give him another obstacle to work with. Bill McDonald mocking me on the other side of the glass, so. Interesting strategy discussion here, but I think I think I'd rather put something up front and make Doug have to deal with that. Force Doug to make a shot rather than forcing yourself to make two shots here. And that would even be just for, in all likelihood, just a one. So Brandon walks away, and Bill starts heading down to the house, much the same way that an umpire does when a pitching mound conference starts to go a little too long. Going to go out there and tell the guys, okay, come on, let's hurry it up. I'm getting cold out here. Make me sweep. So I'm not entirely sure what the call is on this. It looks like he's given ice for a draw or a guard. I think that's a much better idea than at one point the possible double takeout of your own rocks there that it looked like was a possibility. So here comes Brian Gelbach with his first rock of this seventh end. Again, Gelbach and Ashford with the red rocks, up 3. Here with the hammer in the 7th. This one is over curling. And he wants to just leave this one as high as he can. It is still going to come over that much further. Not the result that he wanted. And as you can see, there's that yellow rock. Now Doug actually has a clear shot to be able to hit that one off on the right side, take out the shot rock. And if he can he doesn't even have to hit that very hard. In fact, he'd be better off to throw that with down weight, back line, maybe even just simply back house weight, just to tap it back enough, leave a couple of catchers there so that he can sit shot and also have some protection in front and some protection in back. That's about what it looks like he's trying to do here, the way that Dave Hamilton has the broom set up for him. So we're going to guess about backline, maybe hack weight on this one from the broom placement. Another big moment here for Doug Andrew. A must-make shot to stay alive in this game. I think he's gone with a little bit more than just hack weight here. Sweeper's waiting for this one to come back. This one has got to curl back. He's got to get a little bit of his own rock, and that's not going to come back enough, I don't think. He's going to get the second red rock out, but the shot rock is still going to be sitting right there on the button. Doug is sitting second and third there with the yellow. And right now, I would just, it looks like Brian is just simply going to throw this one away. Good call here. He's already sitting one. There's not really a good way to be able to get two out of this. Just take your one here and take your 4-point lead going into the 8th end. Even with the hammer, taking 4 is just pretty much, against this team, it's going to be pretty much impossible. They're not going to make strategic errors. They're not going to miss enough hits. I think the drama on this one is over. And Doug's going to make it official, and out come the handshakes. So a 6-2 win for the Rocks of Granite over Two Lefts Make a Right Triangle, so I've been told is the full name. They couldn't fit all of those words on there. Half the team from Triangle. Be even better if it were both Triangle players left-handed. As it stands, 6-2, your final. So we will see the Rocks of Granite later on this weekend. Not sure whether that was actually an elimination game. Don't have a really good look at the draw. I think that actually may just simply drop Doug Andrew and his team into the 4th event. We'll get a little bit more intel on that. So our feature game here on Sheet B has gone final. 6-2, Rocks of Granite. Skipped by Rich Ashford with Brian Gelbach throwing 4th rocks, getting the win over Doug Andrew and his combined Potomac and Triangle rink. Game over on Sheet C also went final. Steve Duberstein all over Mark Robinson. 10-2 was the score that we were seeing at one point in that one. I believe that was through about 4 ends. Over on Sheet D got quite a game going over there. It is 5-3 in favor of Murray Jackson and his Triangle team against Stephen Enochson and his Potomac team. We'll see if maybe we can get you a little bit of bonus coverage on D. Not sure how well that might work. And over on Sheet A, I believe we have I'm not entirely sure. I believe that is a 7-4 lead for Steve Meschino and his Philadelphia rink throwing the red rocks against Patrick Corrigan and his Royal Canadian rink throwing yellow. Let's give you a look at some bonus coverage over on Sheet D now. This is John Hale coming up with his second Vice Rock here in the 7th end for the Enochson rink from Potomac. Right here at the home ice advantage, down by 2. Pretty open house here. Got one that's sitting over in the 12-foot. You might be able to hear the applause in the background a little bit as some of the teams that just finished are coming off of the ice. We may see if we can get a word or two with one of them later. Kathy Jackson will go and get set to throw her second vice rock over here on sheet D. Again, 5-3 is your score in this one. Jackson, with the yellow rocks from Triangle, has the lead. Dealing with a couple of rocks sitting over there on the edge of the 12-foot. And throwing out there for the hit. Again, we don't have a great angle, but that is a nice shot to be able to get the hit. Roll a little bit. I think that's kind of behind guard. Tough shot, trying to go and throw rocks over to that side of the sheet. And a very nice shot there. So again, Jackson up 2, has the hammer here in the 7th end. And trying to set themselves up to maybe take 2 here in this end. Take a 4-point lead coming down to the 8th. And again, 4 points even with the hammer. That is probably lights out. Stephen Enixon coming down to the hack. Telling his teammates the shot call here. Looks like he's going for the in-turn hit on that rock that is sitting over in the outside 12-foot. Could be a double opportunity on this one. Again, we don't have a very good look at all from this angle at the action that's going on there. I think he's given the signal that he's going to be throwing quite a bit of heat at this one. Okay, so it's the out turn coming from Enixon here. His first rock. The first of any of the skips rocks here in the 7th end. A lot of weight on this one. As he looks to be making a play on that yellow shot rock sitting there, catching a piece of the 8. He's got 1 on the outside, gets a little bit of a tap on the shot rock. So it is still yellow sitting 1 over there on sheet D. And Murray looks like he's just going to want to put another rock in play over on the left side of the house. Handshakes coming out over on sheet A, so tally up another victory for Stephen Meschino over Patrick Corrigan. Philadelphia victorious over Royal Canadian on sheet A. They had a 7-4 lead after 6 ends of play, and it looked like that was a steal of at least 2 over there. This is Murray Jackson's first rock here in this 7th end. Kathy's got the broom pointed about where she wants to have that rock end up, just anywhere sitting over there so that they can be counting 1 and 2. Weight is a little heavy on this one. John Hell trying to bring that one back through the back of the house. I think that's still hanging on a little bit out there. Not sure how that one is counting right now. So indeed, that's still hanging on in the back, but it is shot rock for yellow, second shot right next to it there for Enixon's team. And that rock sitting in the back is only third shot rock. You can see the strategy discussions over there. You've got 1 red guard sitting over on the corner. Shot rock pretty well protected. Second shot sitting over there on the right side. Enixon was looking at playing a hit, the red into the yellow over on the right side there of the sheet. And now it looks like they've changed their minds and decided to go for the draw. So the final rock of this 7th end here for the skip, Stephen Enochson. Looking to just put this one in the house to outcount. Or play the tap back. He's got the hit. It is not enough weight. And so that shot rock is definitely well guarded. And Murray Jackson is probably just going to look to draw this one in over on the left side again. Really, any part of the 8-foot should be fine to score 2 and take a 4-point lead going into the final end. They may start shaking hands after that one. Murray Jackson setting up in the hack to throw the hammer here in this 7th end. Up 5-3. He's got 1 sitting shot right now and looking to make it 2 for this end. Sweeper's now on this one. Just getting any piece of the 8-foot ought to be enough for this one. I think they've got a chance to get it there, and I think they have done it. That is definitely good for what appears to be 2, and the handshakes are coming out, so that's a 7-3 victory for Murray Jackson and the Triangle team. And, well, what do you know? Just sidling up right next to me is victorious skip from our feature game just a moment ago, Mr. Rich Ashford. Rich, I'll tell you what, let me go and hand you this microphone here. Nice win for you guys there.
Oh, thanks, Dave. It was a much better performance than we put on yesterday. We shook up our lineup a little bit, and it seemed to make a big difference. And we had much more control over our weights and how we were throwing today. A couple missteps here and there, but that's to be expected at this level. But much more solid performance today.
Yeah, definitely good showing out of your front end, and especially seemed like, were you playing the strategy more to Brandon's strengths there, calling for a lot of the draws to the top 4 to start off the ends rather than the typical center line guard?
Well, no, I mean, early in the game, I tend to do that to determine how the other team's going to play. And if they're going to leave me go, I'm going to keep doing it until they prove that they're going to hit me out of the house. So that's basically more what that was. Brandon's strength's actually the hit game, but his draw game was really on today, so that was a bonus.
Yeah, it seemed like he didn't really have a miss on the draws. Maybe the line wasn't necessarily right in the center, but you're looking for top 4. You get top 8 a little bit off to the side. That's still a good shot there.
Yeah, we're looking for something in the house, especially once we're up. Once we're up in the lead, then, I'm going to put them in. You got to make a decision. Are you going to throw guards or leave me go?
Now, with Brian's first rock there in the 7th end, quite the lengthy discussion there as you had Doug's shot sitting second. You've got shot rock right there on the button and another one right there. Doug just drawing down right to the pocket.
Sure.
What were some of the ideas you guys were talking about there?
Well, my initial look at it was we had 1 or 2 shots. We could either freeze up against our own shot stone, which was probably pretty tough, or we could try to put the guard out there and try to place it to make his shot tough. And I did not really think that he would be with as far over as that guard got. We didn't want that guard guarding our shot stone necessarily. We wanted to guard the yellow stone so that he couldn't bump it in. He bumps it in at that point. Okay, we're giving him 2. And then we're still up 1. It wasn't the end of the work, coming home with the hammer. So that was basically the whole gist of where we were going with that. So we settled on the guard. Guard wasn't perfect, but it was good enough to force the shot going wide. It was enough of a visual, I guess, to make him go wide. And then I just put my foot down and said, we're throwing this last one away when some people wanted to look. Well, we can get them 2 yellows out. No.
And right back here, I thought that was the obvious call to go for the throwaway there. Take your 1. You're up 4 in the 8th.
Yeah,
that may be game over right there.
And it was.
You know, even if they don't shake, the way that you guys were hitting, it was going to be game over. You weren't missing hits really at all in that game.
No, even if we have an early miss in the end, it's not going to be the end. We were going to clean house and not giving them 4 or 5. You know, that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, you got a plate of food there in your left hand. I'll let
Yes,
you
I
go.
do.
So congratulations. We'll catch up with you later.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, that's going to wrap it up here for us on this broadcast. We'll come back in a little bit after get a little bit of dinner and get some more information for our, I believe it is either 7:15, 7:30 draw coming up a little bit. So anyways, David Bykowski here with you. We will catch you back here again in just a little bit. So long.